Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to continue working on this 60s Teisco. I've heard it pronounced all different ways. Actually, it stands for Tokyo Instrument Company, blah, 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 whatever. So anyway, it's actually not a word, it's just a bunch of letters standing for a lot of different things, but that's not concerning us. What's concerning us today is this neck. Going to be putting the frets back in this neck today. So if you're interested in that, we're going to get to that. I've already got, some of them already started as far as getting them ready to put in the neck. So we're going to get on with this thing, try to get some new frets in it and make it play a little better. So we'll see what we can do with it. All right. When you're going to refret your neck, one thing you got to do is you got to know what your radius is on your neck. Get you a set of these little radius gauges. I mean, the AliExpress deals work as good as, other company stuff. Not always, but sometimes. Sometimes you don't skimp. You buy the best. But anything, as long as it's the right radius, it's either right or it's wrong. Find out what your radius is. This one's 9.5. So the frets that I'm using are pre-cut, pre-radius frets. I usually don't use these, but just happen to have them. I usually buy, my fret wire in an 8-inch length or in a roll. So it's necessary in that case to radius it to the right radius. What I use is this. It's a G-Tech Guitar Works. Works great to radius your fret wire. I mean, a real quality tool, really nice. Picked that up, I think, off eBay or Reverb somewhere several years ago. I don't know if they're still available or not, but it's really a good little tool. You can make one, but I just ain't got time to fool with that. So what I'm doing now is, I've got my little block here with and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but I've got it wrote out, numbered 1 through 24. And as I do each fret, I stick it in the appropriate slot. And so what I'm doing is I'm on fret 17. So I make sure and I count, and I've got this backwards to the way I was doing it. Is I make sure and count, 17. Make sure I'm on the right fret because, I laid this down, and then I get over here where I've got a little bit of overhang, just slight overhang, and try to get my frets set up there straight. And they're a little bit hard to, they're radiused a little more than 9.5, which is good. You want it just a little bit more than what it is. Okay, get it lined up and be still. Then I leave about the same amount on the other side. And I try to catch this in my hand. That don't feel good in your foot. You try to keep up with all your little metal pieces, or they'll find their way to places you don't want them to go. Okay, now we've got our fret nippers. So we got our tang on our fret. Because we've got binding, we've got to notch this tang out to where it'll set down inside the channel, the fret channel. And these work pretty simple. I'll try to show it best I can. But you just put your fret in there. You've got a groove on the tool. You just set it in there, get it to the edge where you want it, and then there you go. Let's see if that'll show up. You got the little that'll show up or not. You can see where it notched that out right there. So, and then you got your little piece that you cut off, and do the other side the same way. And there you go. You got another fret ready. Put it in there. Do the same thing again. Make sure you get every fret's a different length. So, you got a couple of extra most sets, but count, make sure, you can start to 12th fret if you want to, or count all the way up, but just make sure, one. You could stick a little piece of tape on the one you just did, so you don't got to count each time. I mean, that sounds really simple, but it's so easy to make a mistake. So, or at least with me anyway. Okay. And once you get used to doing this, I mean, there's nothing to it. And there you go. Without these, in other words, this is a pain in the butt. And that's why I couldn't find my other ones. This is a brand new pair. And like I say, I spared no expense, but, a lot of people ride these folks pretty hard, but you buy something from them, you know it's good. Okay, we got 20. That'll be 19 right here. You know it's going to work. This stuff you buy some of these other places for $19 or something for a pair, you're wasting. I won't say you're wasting your time, but you're not going to get your money's worth out of them. You're not going to be happy. And this particular tool comes with another piece that goes on the end for like bass frets, jumbo frets, bigger frets. It's also got that with it. Not promoting this. I mean, buy what you want to, but you can't hardly go wrong with it. All right, we got one more to do. All right, so there's our frets. Cut to length or pretty close to length, and the tabs cut off the end using our fret nipper pliers and our fret end cutters. After we used our radius gauges. These little tools, I mean, it don't take every tool in the world to work on a guitar, but there is some that you just don't want to do without, and quality that you don't want to do without. Okay, so that's that. Let me move around things and we'll start putting some of these in. All right. Tried to get you in closer, but with what I'm using, that's about the best I can do right now. So we're going to start. We got our 9.5 inch radius coil and our press. Got us a rest for our neck. So, all we got to do now is plug in the drill press and we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead first, put just a little bit of glue in the slot. And one thing is we don't want to put our 0 fret in right now. because we're going to be probably having to level these frets. Your 0 fret's going to be high. And that'll mess you up. It'll make it harder. If we have it out of the way, it's going to be easier. Okay, we'll get it set up in position. And knock it out of position. All right, I'm just going to let that set there a second. And there's the first one in. So we just repeat that 19 more times. And that's how we have it. All right, for the ones out here on the very end, I'm just going to hammer them in. These are going in really easy, but you get up there, I really don't have my deal set up quite like I want yet right there. But the ones on the end, I'm just going to hammer them in. And something I left out, was after you use your tang nippers, fret nippers, sometimes you'll have to go back with a flat file, and just smooth that on off. Now these they're brand new. They really, there's a couple I had to touch up with a file, but you want to get all that ridge off to where you have a flat surface going over the binding. And I had checked that, but I forgot to mention it. So. And I started putting some glue in these, and they were going so well that there was no point in fooling with the glue. So there we go. And this is, like vintage, probably vintage size wire, vintage Fender size wire. It's not necessarily a whole lot taller than what was originally on here, but they're a lot more narrow, because those old flat frets, man, they just kill you on your intonation and everything. And just these are just a little taller, but they'll do a lot better. So what I'll do is I'll dress the ends of these up, and we'll get it all leveled out. Then once that's done, put in the 0 fret, and we'll be ready to put the tuners on the neck, put the neck back on the body. The next process in this, now that the frets are in, is taking my file here that's on an angle, and what I'll do is go along and work these frets down close to the binding as I can get it with this file on both sides. Then I'll take my fret in file and go in and work the ends of the frets, all of that. We'll check the level if we have to level a few of them, and then we'll go on our 0 fret. Okay, and like I say, we'll have our tuners going on. I'm going to clean the electronics up, get that all cleaned up, working good, put back in the pick guard. All the rest of the hardware, we're not far from being able to go with it. So, we got our body cleaned up. It's in decent shape. Not perfect, but hey, it's okay. So we're moving along on this project. And I know this. Well, I can't get close up stuff. I've got some people coming Tuesday to kind of help with some stuff with the internet, computer, and whatnot. So where I can start doing close-ups, overhead shots, better cameras, better audio. I bought an interface, ain't used it yet. That's all going to be worked out Tuesday. So if you're really into doing these frets, if there's a lot of good videos out there, real detail. The best that I have seen is Andy Bass Guitar. I think he's in Japan. He don't speak English, so there's no commentary or whatever running his mouth like I do. But you're right there on it. I don't know what kind of camera, whatever, but you're right down on it. And he goes, I mean, his videos are pretty long, but he goes into every detail about it. So if you want to do a fret job, I recommend watching his channel because you'll get a real up close, clear, really well detailed, and he really does a great job. So that's if you want to get right on into it. But we're moving along with this thing, not too much longer, and we'll be ready to put it all back together and see what it does. So anyway, that's just kind of an update. That's what I'm doing. I'll have a better deal. Maybe the next fret job we do, I'll have a better up close thing. So anyway, appreciate everybody subscribing. Subscribe, tune in if you want to see this guitar put back together, new tuners, new frets, original pickup, see what it sounds like. We'll be doing that plus a whole lot more. So anyway, guys, until the next time, see you.